Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. Due to the amount of VP farmers in Vanguard 0 making Bushiroad less money from in-app purchases, both the Japanese and global version of the game have changed the way you earn VP from rank matches. Winning a rank match will now earn you 3k VP, whereas losing will only earn you 500 VP multiplied by the amount of damage you inflicted on your opponent. On paper, this looks to discourage VP farmers from giving free wins to people who are actually playing the game normally. But in actuality, this just incentivizes VP farmers to create more elaborate scripts for their auto-clickers, while also using right chain decks with perfect guards and heal triggers, the very thing that's annoying about VP farmers in the first place. The amount of points you earn to rank up were changed in order to stop players from inflating player rankings to the point of making them look like 30-year-old virgins that play a mobile game in their mother's basement all day and night. Maybe now Scarlet Vanguard can sleep knowing he only needs to be Legend 50 each season. And in order to make players spend real money, they made the rank rewards more lucrative to players who can invest more time in the game. So any free-to-play players who can only play 3 to 4 hours a day and want those dopamine hits when opening packs better start looking for another gacha game, unless you're willing to wail as big as your mother. These changes will be implemented on July 1st, 2020, for both Japanese and global versions. Expect a shit ton of VP farmers this coming weekend in a last-ditch effort to farm packs. As a big middle finger to free-to-play players in Vanguard 0 Japan even more, Bushiroad has decided to also release the latest banner set on July 1st, 2020. Here are some of the new cards that you will never be able to farm without spending real money. Both Blaster Blade and Dark Spirit when placed from deck to rear guard lets you pay 1 counter blast to retire one of opponent's grade 2 or higher rear guard in the front row. This unit gets retired after it was attacked. And these cards can be placed in a gold paladin deck. Nothing was changed from the original versions, except that Vanguard 0 rulings ensures that this unit will have more value as an intercept. Platina Rezel while on Limit Break 5 lets you pay 1 counter blast to give all your rear guards 5k power, and this unit gets an additional crit. Having Blonde Ezel in the soul gives this unit 2k power, and being in cross ride will make this unit's Limit Break 5 into 4. This improves so much from the original version that I wish this was also the V-Series version. Crom Jailer Dragon once per turn, while on Limit Break 4, lets you retire 2 of your rear guards to give this unit 10k power and an extra crit. You can pay 1 Persona Blast to call 2 cards from the top 4 cards of your deck to rear guard, and this unit can be placed in a Shadow Paladin deck. At this point, what made Gold Paladins a tier 1 deck back in the original card game are just going to be used as Shadow Paladin cards in 0. Yamatano Drake gets 4k power when it stands during your battle phase. It gets 1k more power from the original version. Illuminal Dragon while on Limit Break 4 lets you pay to counter blast when it attacks to stand 2 of your Beast Deity rear guards. This unit also gets 3k power when it is boosted. And having Azure Dragon in the soul gives this unit 2k power. While this is less costly from the original version, it's going to take a lot more in order to surpass Perfect Riser as the best Nova Grappler build in the game. Susanuo gets 3k power if you have a Amaterasu Vanguard. The same as the original, nothing much said. Goddess of the Sun Amaterasu, while at Limit Break 4 lets you pay to counter blast when she attacks the Vanguard to add a card from your deck. This unit gets 2k power during your turn if you have 2 or more cards in hand. And having CEO Amaterasu in the soul gives this unit 2k power. Expect a lot of players also play the TCG to be confused at times, since her V-Series version is also getting released this season. Dungaree Unlimited once per turn, while on Limit Break 4 lets you pay to counter blast and bind the top card of your deck face up to retire one of opponent's front row rear guards. Then this unit gets an extra crit if you have 3 or more cards in your bind zone. And having regular Dungaree in the soul gives this unit 2k power. Getting that extra crit is one hell of an improvement compared to the original. Vermilion the Blood, while on Limit Break 5 lets you pay 3 counter blast to get 5k power, an extra crit, and lets you attack all of opponent's front row units in one attack. Having regular Vermilion in the soul gives this unit 2k power, and being in cross ride will make this unit's Limit Break 5 into 4. Outside of the limit break 4 bonus, nothing has changed for this unit as well. Benedict once per turn can stand after it attacks a Vanguard, but loses 5k power. At this point, why do I even bother covering cards that aren't changed from their original counterpart? Glory Maelstrom while on limit break 5 lets you pay to counterblast when it attacks a Vanguard to get 5k power and an extra crit. Then the opponent must discard a grade 3 in order to use a sentinel unit. Having regular Maelstrom in the soul gives this unit 2k power, and being in cross ride will make this unit's limit break 5 into 4. Due to the respawn time in the game's system, this mechanic can also be used to scout if opponent has both a sentinel and a grade 3 in hand during certain scenarios. Vanguard 0 is getting trial decks for the original 4 clans in the game because Bushiroad needs to make up the lack of sales for the physical card game. There will only be 1 triple rare and 1 sentinel unit in this trial deck, but we'll have an SP version of the starting Vanguard. So if you want to spend real money to use a shiny or obsolete Barkgor, the choice is yours. 7 male moon cards were revealed for VBT09 this early, thus proving my point that Harry isn't good enough to sell the clan. Venus Luquia will be the real money maker and will be revealed in a later date near the release. Magia Doll Darkside Mirror Master can be placed into your soul after getting retired from the Guardian Circle, and you can countercharge 1 when it's placed to rearguard by a Harry unit's ability. I can't wait to see the amount of infinite bullshit this unit can pull off in premium. On a side note, it seems that some of Luna's cards are chibified and now in a subclan called Magia Dolls. Magia Doll Flying Periton can be placed into your soul after getting retired from the Guardian Circle, and you can draw a card when it's placed to rearguard by a Harry unit's ability. Not only did Periton got downgraded to a grade 1 unit, it seems that he was neutered to the ground for creating so much infinite combos in premium. Justice is served. Magia Doll Lunatic Dragon can be placed into your soul after getting retired from the Guardian Circle, and you can place one of your opponent's rearguard into their soul when it's placed to rearguard by a Harry unit's ability. Lunatic Dragon got the same treatment as a Chikishima by being downgraded from a grade 4 unit down to grade 2. Law Pigeon Pop when placed on rearguard lets you place 1 Magia Doll card from your drop zone into your soul, and at the end of the battle it attack while on stage. You can pay 1 counterblast and return this unit to your hand to call a Starry Pop Dragon to stage from deck or drop zone. Stage is a new mechanic to Pale Moon that makes you select one of your Axel circles, and it becomes your only additional circle for the entire game. Any current and new Axel markers generated will be placed on that circle like stacking Force 1 markers into one circle. Starry Pop Dragon is a grade 4 unit that gets 5k power for each Magia Doll rearguard you have on the field. When it's placed on stage, you get an Axel marker, and when it attacks, it gets an additional crit and opponent cannot use sentinels from hand if its power is 40k or higher, and this unit is retired after it attacks. Expect 900 IQ male moon mains to create a new no fight no guard combo for this card within 24 hours of this video. Finally, Harry when placed on Vanguard makes you select one of your Axel rearguards to turn into a stage for the entire game. As previously mentioned, any current and new Axel markers generated will be placed on that circle, and once per turn, you can pay 1 counterblast and 1 discard to call 2 Magia Doll cards with different names from your soul to rearguard and they get 5k power. And if opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, you can call up to 4 instead. Before anyone asks, turning one of your Axel circles is mandatory. So make sure your other Axel circles outside of the one you selected to become a stage to be empty. Otherwise they will be retired faster than Mega Man falling off a disappearing platform. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if you quit Vanguard 0 because your free to play lifestyle cannot support this new change.